It started from basic posters, but as we grew an understanding on how to use the printers, I mean, really, we have absolutely maximised the use. We really value relationships, and that's with obviously our product suppliers, our team. We are a family, and that runs all the way through the business. So, no, a very good relationship with HP. Honestly, they couldn't do more for us. The contact and the support we have had has been for such a huge organisation where, you know, to be quite frank, we are, in the scheme of things, a very small piece, but you don't feel like that.
When I look at what's happened at Sussex Beds, where they didn't have any print skills at all within their business, they had very first-class designers within the business, but didn't have anyone that was specialist in print. To make that change within their business was fairly simple. Yes, absolutely, the further you go, the more understanding and skill comes with what you can actually achieve with the product. But with large format, you can take a product in and start printing within a couple of days and actually be generating probably the vast majority of the print that you would require. And I think with the adoption of latex, the simplicity of what comes with latex and the flexibility of printing onto pretty much any substrate is, again, comes back to how easy it is to bring into your business to then actually make those savings to not outsource to other companies.
We started off with the Z6600s. We started off with one machine and we then developed into two. That was basically through the growth of the business. So we tend to have a monthly changeover of campaign, at which point we produce posters for each of the shops. So we're producing somewhere between 40 and 60 posters. The Z machines are great for that because they print from what's known as the pinches, which basically means they can print a poster, cut that poster, and then print the next poster. So running a run of 60 or 80 posters is very straightforward because you just set it to print and they will just continue printing until they're done. So we can run those overnight or we can run them through the day. Within that, they both have take-up reels as well, which is great. So again, some of the things that we do, so POS-based rolls and systems, we actually do a roll print and we will collate all of the POS required and collate that into maybe one entire 30-metre roll, and again we can set that off printing, and then when that's done we can then use our cutter that we have to then put those into sections and send them all out to the stores as well. Developing on from that, we've just got the 800W. Now the great thing is with that is the white printing aspect. So at the moment we can only print on a limited type of substrate with the Zs. There are some other substrates, but nowhere near as much as you've got on the latex machine. So the great thing with the latex machine, as you might better see behind me, is we can actually print clear substrate and also start to print white on that as well. So it means that maybe at some point we can move away from the traditional poster and actually move into something more interesting that would have a backlit effect to it, or something that is a little bit more dynamic. So if we look back to where we actually outsourced buying a run of posters, they were printed on card or on board, and we'd be looking at around about £4,000 for a run. I mean, and that was for an era we had maybe I think 7 or 8 shops. Now we're up to around 15 shops, so the price point that we have been paying, you could see, would be increased on that. Subsequently, when we went over to using the Zs, I was able to actually produce posters and POS, so that would be stickers to highlight the offers, around about £100 per shop. So as you can see then, a full run, even with our 15 shops, would be around £1,500. Now bringing the 800W in, that's going to be even cheaper because the substrate doesn't have to have anything on top. It's actually a cheaper substrate, so therefore printing overall is going to be cheaper and faster with the 800W than it is with the Zs as well. So even further savings for us.
I guess the biggest impact that we've seen with our own internal print is the effect it's had on average order value. And when we first started this journey, our average order value was okay, but over the years we've increased that threefold. And having the ability to print our own and give the benefits and back up our own brands. And the look, the feel of the stores have been a huge contributing factor. And really the confidence is, we've got 2 inkjet large format printers, which are chonking away pretty much every day. And we've maximised the use of that. The exterior is the opportunity now to just push that a notch forward. And that's where the latex come through. So I guess really the answer is we haven't just stopped there. It's now, right, what next to continue that journey?
Floor coverings, for example, that's something that we've never been able to utilise to a great effect. Vehicle design graphics. So again, the potential is there with the printer to actually be able to change the graphics on the vehicle, or for example's sake, actually using magnets is also something I would like to investigate. And again, the 800W opens up those possibilities. So we could have the speed of change, also being able to actually have marketing and advertising that's driving around, and actually utilising the floors in our shops as well. So over and above the traditional just using windows or just using walls, it's now okay, we have other areas that we've never been able to investigate before that now we can.
In a dynamic retail environment, you need to be able to go and change things quickly, have ideas and implement them, and even be implementing the following day following changes from the previous meeting. And that, I think, is seen in Sussex Beds, but mainly across the whole of the retail segment as well. I think HP have been very clever in the approach. The types of products that we brought to market have really ramped up the opportunity to have a versatile printer that gives lots of different options, whether that be for indoor or outdoor signage. And that's certainly something that we've seen with the relationship with Sussex Beds.
And so I can come up with a creative idea on Monday, I can go to design on Monday afternoon, and by, late Monday or Tuesday, we've got a prototype printed off that we can actually physically go and look at. And again, HP is great at facilitating that. In the short time I've had the 800W, one of its key strengths is that it has got guides built within the machine. So actually the things that I don't know about yet, because fundamentally I'm not a print specialist, the machine will guide me through aspects of me being able to do that, or maybe adjustments I need to make. So actually printing on some of the material, getting a bit more specific here, but actually I'm using some print material from the old Zeds, which is an aqueous material. I tried to run that on the 800W and I had to increase the optimizer, but again, the printer helped me through that process to make a better quality of print. So HP is great at actually facilitating and easing you through processes. The printer itself, as I said, its capabilities and not having to have those solvents is a real game changer, really, to be able to achieve the quality of what we're doing with the speed as well, which again is greatly increased from the Zeds. As I said, it means less time for me or somebody in that environment when we again have other tasks to achieve, because we are not solely print-based in terms of any of our roles. So the increased speed is essentially also a benefit of that type of printing. We've been using the Planet Partner program for a while now, which means that the ink cartridges that come out of the Zeds actually are put into a box and are then recycled by HP. That's something they've been offering for a while. Moving over to the 800s, they come in a cardboard box anyway. So that again is great for the environment, and something that we don't need to be involving transport and moving the plastic back, which is good, but even better with the cardboard. Also to look at on that fact is the fact that the 800W, the way it actually uses the substrate is that it lays the ink on top of the substrate, not in the substrate, and therefore you can actually recycle that substrate much easier. So the problem with previous prints was when we bin them, it's very difficult to recycle the substrate underneath, but actually the 800W, where it does lay the ink on top, means that it's much easier to recycle and reuse the substrate in different environments afterwards.
Probably one of the most fundamental and biggest changes is our products are mattresses. And traditionally our industry is very poor at producing point of sale or information and would come with a little label on the end of the mattress, which doesn't really tell you an awful lot of what it is. So I would guess everybody's been mattress shopping, and you go into a store and it's just a sea of white square blobs. Where do you start? And a really key factor was that we produced with printer, we call them sashes, that stretch across the bottom of the mattress, and they provide a key. So you've got all of the features and the benefits there, and it runs all the way through the store. So a consumer can come in and shop by themselves. But to be able to do so, you need to be able to give credibility to that, and give the benefits of what each product provides. And so communicating that is absolutely crucial. And a huge reason for our success is the own branding and how we've worked with that over the last few years.